Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Thomas Blooms. I'm your host, Thomas Blooms, and today we're inside because we're going to do a little tutorial on pepper pruning. Now, this is a somewhat controversial topic because when it comes to pruning peppers, there is a right way to do it, and there's a lot of wrong ways to do it, and even if you do it the right way, there's no guarantee it's going to work. But the objective is that when you prune the peppers, you grow more branches that will eventually flower and grow more peppers. So I've done this for 2 years now. This will be my third. So I could tell you firsthand that this method does work. But it has mixed results. Sometimes it doubles your pepper production. Sometimes it increases it by more. Sometimes you still only get like 1 or 2 peppers per plant. It's really up in the air. But if you do this properly, it won't harm your pepper plant at all, and you increase your chance of getting more peppers. So let me explain. Whoops, I just fell. So let me explain how this works and why we do it and exactly what we're doing. Okay, so on this side right here, see these two guys? These are my chili peppers. Nice and healthy. And then these here are my California bell peppers. Okay, so you could do this for nearly every kind of pepper plant, FYI. However, I suggest doing research. Like if you have a specific pepper plant that you're growing, like Scotch bonnet, habanero, ghost reaper, scorpion, any of the really hot ones, you should find out if pruning will work out best for your plant. I know it works for both of these, and that's why I'm going to use these as my demonstrations. Now, some of you are thinking, what? Cutting peppers? Yes, we are going to be cutting our peppers. In fact, we're going to be lopping off the tops here. Like these are going to be completely cut. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. Like, really? You're going to like lop off your peppers? And I know for me, when I first heard it, I was skeptical at first, but I saw the videos and then I decided to try doing this myself, and it did work. So this is why I'm going to be doing it with you guys right here and letting you know how successful it can be. So one of the things I want to show you, and I'm going to try and see if I can show you on this pepper plant, is so right here. Whoops, can I? Yeah. So right here, this is going to be my little pointer. This guy right here. Okay. So right here we have a leaf stem connected to the base. Okay. And what that does is it creates a almost 90-degree angle here. And within those angles, we call them nodes. Okay, they're called nodes. Okay, maybe you can see it better right here. And what happens is that sometimes with tomato plants, the same thing occurs, and we call them suckers, and they're not very good. So we tell you to cut them off. Same with strawberries; they form suckers. We tell you to cut them off because it takes away energy from the plant instead of producing strawberries. But with peppers, we want this. So within the node, the more it gets exposed to sun, the more likely you'll have a branch growing out here like this. And then obviously same with this node, and this node, and this node. Okay, so you want to grow. The purpose of the pepper, of cutting it, is to create more branches from those nodes. What's happening right now is, with all peppers, is that whether you're starting from seed in a little box or planting it in the ground, your pepper plant is just going to grow up until it gets to a point where it feels, okay, I've done all my growing, it's now time to flower and then grow your pepper plants. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to interrupt that energy. So all energy is coming up here, but the moment we lop off the top, that energy will focus on growing the nodes to create the branches. The more branches and trunks like this, the more flowering, and therefore the more peppers. I apologize for the camera. It's not very reliable right now. It keeps falling. But that's the goal. Okay? So, and you may want to ask, okay, how many nodes, or when do we cut it off? I recommend a minimum of 6 nodes, okay, before you cut, because you want to give the nodes a chance, but also you want to have a healthy plant before you cut. You don't want to cut it too low. And what you need to understand is you got to understand what nodes you're counting. You see these little guys right here? Okay, these are left, so I'm going to choose this one. These do not count, okay, because those are your first 2 flowering leaves. Most plants have this. They really don't count because eventually they're going to fall off. Okay, and I'll show you an example of one that's fallen off. So you see this guy right here? See him right here? This guy. This is a starter leaf, and the other one's missing. Okay, because it's fallen off. It's no longer needed because these guys here are the predominant leaves that are going to be taking all the energy. Okay, and even this guy, you see how they're yellowing here? They're going to be falling off pretty soon here. This guy is going to be falling off too because most of the energy is up top. You see all the leaves up top, that kind of thing, and that's why you have a little bit of leaf drop here. But once I cut him off, we're going to have the nodes growing. And if you can see by this guy here, he's already starting to flower. So you cut that off and you're actually telling the plant, okay, we're not ready to flower yet. We're still ready to grow. But like I said, when it comes to peppers, energy is going up. You want to interrupt that flow, and we want to divert it to the nodes. Okay, simple enough. So when I make my cut, I'm going to make my cut diagonal. Okay, so the stem, instead of straight like this, is going to go like this when I cut it. The reason why we do that is because if, for example, you are doing this outside and it rains, the water you don't want to pool on top of the healing cut, because then mold will grow and it will infect your pepper plant and then it will die. If you cut it on an angle, so it's like this, the water has a chance to run off and less likely to stay on the stem while it's healing. I mean, after it heals, it doesn't matter, but while it's healing, if you have water stuck here, or water stuck like this, mold will grow. But if you angle it like this, the water has a runoff, okay? So with this plant here, not including these, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes. So right here, if the camera can see this, oh, this guy's in the way. So right here is where we're going to make our cut, okay? So, ready? Boom, it's off. So here it is, cut off. Here's the pepper, and the pepper's gonna be fine, okay? And I don't know if the camera is good with the quality, but I made an angled cut, so the water will run off if any water goes on it. But see here, no top. The grow, depending on where you put it, whether it grow light or the sun, it now has access to these nodes, and these nodes will get triggered into growing because the top is now cut off. All the energy cannot go to the top. It now has to spread out like this. Okay, so this is why we do these cuts. And I'm going to show you with this one here as well. This is my other chili, and I do this with all my peppers. Okay, and later on in the season, when I do my garden tour, I will show you the results of what these cuts do mean, and you get to see it firsthand. So when we do our counts here, so it's hard to tell, but these ones have fallen off. So there's little buds here. Those are my opening leaves. I don't count those, so I count up here. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one up here is number 7. So, and actually I have an 8th one here, so I'm going to cut it right above my 8th node, I think. Oh, 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little cut like this. Whoops. Okay, so here we go. It's off. Okay. And right now, it's hard to tell, but there it is. Okay. And so now all the energy is now going to be devoted to the nodes. Now, does that mean that every node creates a branch? No. Okay. I can't guarantee that if you're going to do this yourself, I can't guarantee that every single one is going to make a branch. But if you can get from, say, 7 nodes, if you can get like 4 or 5 branches out of that, that's going to give you an extra 2, 3, maybe 4 peppers, depending on the variety that you're using. And then you multiply that by the branches, you can get like good 15 to 20 peppers off one. Whereas if you let it grow, 2, 3, 4 peppers, 5 maybe if you're lucky. So you can tell that there is a process to this with something that yields results. Now this one's a little bit tricky because I'm gonna cut this, but it's very close to some of my nodes. If you cut it close to a node, you may not get a branch out of it because the shock and trauma of the cut may interfere with sending the growth hormone to that node if it's too close. So if we're talking like if it's hard to explain, but if you cut it too close to your node, and I can't tell you exact distance. It all depends on your plant. Okay, so we have here, not including this guy down here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes. So I'm going to make a cut. Unfortunately, I'm going to make a cut really close to one of my nodes, so that probably won't grow. But we're going to make one right here. And this is my California bell pepper, by the way. And here it is. So here's the cut right here. And there is the results of it. Okay, so here you are. And lastly, we're going to do my other pepper. Now, my other pepper here, there's a little pepper growing right here. So what happens is that your chili and your bell peppers, they create white flowers. And if you want to ensure higher success for your peppers to pollinate, once their flower opens, you literally shake your pepper like this. No different than if wind was going by. But depending on when it flowers, if you have zero wind and you're not going to get anything that's going to move this, you may not get pollination within your plant. Oh, and these are hermaphroditic, so the flower is both male and female. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to disturb the pollen within that flower to pollinate it. Okay, if it's locked in place, nothing's going to happen. So just give it a good shake. The trunks get very, very firm and they get very sturdy. So you can, like, eventually grow, you can really give it a good, whoop, and everything will be all right. Okay, so, but what I'm going to do is right now is so much growth hormone is going up to the top that it's already starting to flower. So what we're going to do is, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore these two. We're going to count the nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to cut it just like that. And here we are. So here's the cut. And you can see here, this was a flower that's now turning into a pepper. Okay, and we cut that off. Yeah, technically I lost a pepper, but what that means is that when I did this cut, I'm telling now the pepper, okay, you thought you were done growing. No more. You still have more growing. Or sorry, let me start over. The pepper was in a place where it thought, okay, I've finished my growing. I'm now going to start flowering. And with the height of this pepper, no, that was not acceptable. So by cutting it, I'm telling the pepper, okay, you're now going to focus your energy on growing. Okay, we want more leaves, more branches, more of this, then you can flower later on. All right. So if you notice here, there's not many leaves on it. That's okay. It will grow. And even in the nodes here, it's hard to tell. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I could already see something growing out of the nodes here. Because there was limited leaves on this already, the nodes already started producing a tiny bit, but it was never going to grow outright because all the growth was still going up. Now that we cut it off, it will come through the sides. Okay, so it is Saturday, May the 1st. We're in Zone 5B, if you know anything about hardiness zones in the GTA. And so in about 2, maybe 3 weeks, we're going to plant these in the ground. Okay, and then by then they'll have more room to grow. But I will give you updates on these peppers and more as we go along. I'm growing about 12 to 14 peppers, so you'll see the results in the middle of the season when everything branches out and how successful it is. But this is just a little a tip on growing more peppers. And you could do this from anywhere. You could do this from a pot. You could do this in a raised bed. You could do this anywhere. There's no, oh, don't do this here, don't do this here. If you're gonna make the choice to prune it, it'll be fine, okay? So I'm just gonna wrap up here. So thank you very much for watching it. If you have any comments about this, feel free to comment on my channel. If you're asking any advice about pruning specific kinds of peppers, just let me know. I'll help you out with that as best I can. Most pepper varieties will allow this kind of pruning. There's a few that don't, okay? And I'd have to do my research on which specific ones. I don't want to say right now because I don't want to give you guys false information, but most pepper plants, you're able to do this, okay? So once again, this is Thomas Bloom signing off. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later. All right, take care.